After years of focusing on her career, Maddie, a 30-something graphic designer living in Chicago, is stepping back into the dating scene. Her friends often tease her about being married to her work, but she's starting to feel ready for more. Inspired by a recent wedding she attended, Amara wonders if she's missing out on love. There's a spark of excitement deep inside her, but it's buried under piles of worries and what-ifs. Amara recalls her last relationship, which ended painfully. Dating Jake felt like a dream until it all crumbled when she discovered his lies. That heartbreak left a bitter taste in her mouth. Now, every time she thinks about meeting someone new, doubt creeps in. Will she find someone trustworthy? Could every potential partner be hiding something, like Jake did? The fear of being hurt again looms over her like a shadow. Modern dating feels so complicated, and she often feels lost amid a sea of dating apps and endless profiles. She wonders, are people genuinely looking for love, or are they just passing time? Determined not to get discouraged, Amara decides to try a couple of dating apps that her friends recommend. She's cautious as she sets up her profile. The bright smile in her photos captures her true self, but she worries about how she'll be perceived. Will people see beyond her job title to understand her warmth and creativity? Despite societal pressures to present a perfect image, Amara chooses to be herself. She includes quirky hobbies like doodling in her love for exploring local art galleries because those things bring her joy. As she swipes through profiles on Modern Love and Date Right, she feels a mix of hope and anxiety. What if she meets someone who values authenticity over a curated life? Amara wants to challenge the expectation that dating has to follow a strict set of rules. She believes connections can spark unexpectedly, like strikes of lightning. As she prepares for her first date, her heart races. She reminds herself to focus on being authentic and open, instead of allowing past fears to dictate her actions. Stepping into the dating world again is scary, but Amara feels a warm flicker of hope. Today could be the day she meets someone wonderful, someone who understands her journey and values a true connection. As Amara dives deeper into the world of modern dating, she feels a growing sense of fatigue. At first, going out on dates felt exciting. Each swipe on her dating app was full of possibilities. However, after a few weeks, excitement begins to fade. She goes on different dates with various people, but none of them spark the connection she longs for. The thrill of meeting new faces soon feels more like a tiring routine. Amara finds herself scrolling through profiles late at night, wondering if she's missed something special. Each new match feels like a chance, but when it leads to brief conversations that fizzle out or awkward silences over dinner, she starts feeling discouraged. Why does it always feel so hard to connect? After one date where they spent more time looking at their phones than talking, Amara returns home with a heavy heart. Thoughts swirl in her mind: am I doing something wrong? Is there something about me that makes it difficult to form lasting connections? Each failed date chips away at her confidence, leaving her anxious about what lies ahead. The pressure to seem fun and charming weighs heavily on her. Amara questions if she is meant to find love. She begins wondering if dating is a futile pursuit. Are her dreams of finding a partner just that, dreams? The voices of doubt echo in her mind, often drowning out her hopes. One evening, after a particularly frustrating day of texting, Amara sits on her couch, surrounded by the remnants of takeout containers. She feels exhausted, both physically and emotionally. The stress lingers, making it hard to get excited about her next date. Maybe I just should give up for a while, she mumbles to herself. It's tempting to hide away and forget the search for love, but another part of her knows she doesn't want to lose hope. Still, the fear of facing continued disappointments fills her with dread. With every mixed signal or ghosted text message, Amara feels like she's taking one step forward and two steps back. Sometimes, she wonders if everyone else has it figured out, if they're all enjoying effortless connections. Imagining them giggling at dinner tables while she sits alone makes her stomach twist. In those moments of quiet, the loneliness seems even louder. Amara remembers how she once delighted in exploring art exhibits, laughing with friends, and simply reveling in life. Now, her joy feels like a thing of the past, smothered by the expectations of dating. Whenever Amara feels overwhelmed, her friends remind her of the importance of self-love and patience. While they offer kind words, it's hard for her to fully embrace their advice when her own inner voice is filled with self-doubt. Will she ever feel the flutter of excitement again? The cheerful messages from her friends provide some comfort, but they can't silence the nagging doubts. As she looks through her phone, weighing the pros and cons of potential matches, she notices how difficult it is to find someone who shares her values and passions. Yet, amid the struggles, there is a tiny flicker of resilience sparking within her. It whispers that love often takes time and effort, just like any worthwhile endeavor. Maybe the journey is about learning more about herself and what she truly seeks in a partner. Amara reminds herself that every experience, even the tough ones, contributes to her growth. Even though dating feels tough right now, she knows she must not give up. Hope still exists within her, masked by uncertainty, waiting for the moment she will fully embrace it again. Just when Amara starts feeling weary from her dating journey, a match catches her eye on a dating app. His name is Ryan, and his profile is filled with genuine smiles, thoughtful interests, and a passion for outdoor adventures. Immediately, Amara feels a spark of excitement. They message back and forth, sharing stories of their favorite hikes and fall festivals, and before she knows it, they set up a date to grab coffee at a cozy cafe in Lincoln Park. On the day of their date, Amara dresses in a way that makes her feel confident. The air is crisp, filled with the scent of autumn leaves and pumpkin-spiced treats. When Amara sees Ryan waiting outside, her heart flutters. They sit together, chatting animatedly about their interests and laughing over shared jokes. Amara feels a warmth she hasn't experienced in a while. As the coffee warms her hands and the sun beams brightly overhead, she allows herself to dream. Could Ryan be the one? Over the next few weeks, they go on several dates, each filled with joy and laughter. Maddie's friends notice her newfound happiness and tease her about Ryan. It feels wonderful to finally have someone who matches her energy. As they explore art festivals and enjoy long walks through the city, Amara allows herself to envision a future with him. She hopes he shares her views on love and commitment. After a lovely evening at a rooftop movie screening, Amara gathers the courage to discuss their relationship. Nervously, she brings up the topic of commitment and their views on love. They have been enjoying their time together, after all. To her surprise, Ryan's response is different than what she expected. He smiles but reveals his hesitancy. "I love being with you," he says gently, "but I'm not ready for anything serious right now. I just want to enjoy the moment." Amara feels a chill. His words shake her certainty, leaving behind a sense of dissonance that resonates deeply within her. Confused, Amara tries to understand her feelings and the implications of his statement. Suddenly, that initial spark of hope starts to flicker uncertainly. She values passion and connection but needs to know that they are both on the same page regarding their future. Ryan seems wonderful, but conflicting desires make her question what she needs in a relationship. Though she loves the chemistry they share, is it enough if their long-term goals don't align? In the days that follow, Amara feels like she's grappling with a storm inside her mind. She questions everything she's learned about relationships and herself. What does commitment mean for her? Do they align, and how important is it? Should she settle for a casual relationship, accepting changes at every turn, or trust her instincts and stand firm on her desire for a more profound commitment? Seeking advice from her friends, Amara listens as they share their own love stories, each showing the beauty of choosing what works for them. Some celebrate being carefree, while others emphasize wanting to build a future with partners. As she hears their journeys, Amara finds clarity within herself. The conflicting views on love don't diminish the connection she has with Ryan but give her a deeper reflection of her own desires. Eventually, Amara realizes she must follow her heart, no matter the outcome. While every moment spent with Ryan feels special, understanding her needs is essential for true happiness. The experience of growing closer to someone, even if it doesn't turn out as imagined, becomes a small victory in her journey. Rising from uncertainties, Amara feels her confidence steadily building. She's learning what she wants and how to communicate it openly, no longer afraid to prioritize her needs in love. As Amara spends more time with Ryan, she feels the sweet thrill of their playful moments mingling with an unsettling heaviness. She treasures their laughter and shared adventures, but deep inside, the reality of Ryan's reluctance for serious commitment weighs endlessly on her heart. Each meeting brings her joy, yet on the flip side, she feels uncertainty creeping in, questioning if the spark they share can thrive in a relationship without a shared vision for the future. One chilly evening, Amara drives home after a particularly lovely dinner, where they settled into a comfortable rhythm over pasta and wine. Her mind sifts through the night like leaves in the wind. Ryan smiled and listened with genuine interest, but the conversation lightly brushed on their differences in outlook. As she sits in traffic, the words play back in her head, mixing with a growing sense of discontent. That night, as Amara sits on her couch, the reality of their situation weighs on her. She pulls out her journal, a sacred space for reflection. Her eyes scan the previous entries filled with hope and excitement about dating and finding connection. Now, the returns seem overshadowed by fear of unsettling emotions. Amara starts to write, her hand moving quickly as thoughts pour out about her fears. I love Ryan's spirit and laughter. He brings joy into my everyday life. But what is love if it cannot grow into something deeper? What do I truly want? As she writes, she acknowledges her need for stability and security in a relationship. Those values have always been part of her, shaping her interactions and connections with others. She realizes that a partnership should feel safe and reassuring, not just thrilling. That realization cuts deep, igniting a fire in her. Amara suddenly understands the power of her personal boundaries. They are not walls but rather guidelines, showing her how to protect her heart while remaining open to genuine love. This moment feels transformative, the peak of her internal struggle. She refuses to settle or compromise her values for someone who isn't ready to walk the same path. The next day, energized by her reflections, Amara arrives at a cafe for their planned meetup with a firm heart. She practices her thoughts on the way, her pulse quickening with determination. When Ryan arrives, adorably disheveled as always, Amara feels a mix of comfort and anxious excitement. As they sit across from each other, she can't help but notice the warmth and humor he brings into her life. With a steady breath, she begins to articulate her feelings about their relationship. I really enjoy our time together, Ryan, she starts, her heart pounding just a bit harder. But I've realized that I'm looking for something different than just fun adventures. I want a partner who is ready for commitment, someone I can dream with. Ryan's face shifts, confusion mixing with surprise. He takes a moment to respond, his eyes searching hers for understanding. I appreciate your honesty, Maddie, but you know I'm not ready for that kind of relationship. His voice is gentle but clear, reconfirming the divide between their views. Amara nods, feeling the weight of what this moment means. She could easily slip back into the comfort of their fun experiences, ignoring her own needs, but she remembers her journey to understanding her values. Standing firm, she knows that she cannot lose herself trying to trade joy for commitment. Leaving without clarity would only create deeper confusion and sadness. The realization wraps around her and acts like armor. She is ready to embrace the future, whether it brings her closer to Ryan or propels her forward in search of a love that matches her dreams. With her heart pounding fiercely, she feels lighter, empowered by the decision she's about to make. Decision time has arrived, and Amara is ready to honor who she is and what she deserves. As Amara sits across from Ryan in the cozy cafe, the tension in the air feels palpable. The laughter that usually fills their conversations has faded into an uncomfortable silence. Maddie's heart races, filled with a mix of nervous energy and determination. She takes a deep breath, knowing this moment is crucial. Ryan, she starts, her voice steadied despite her pounding heart. I really feel like we need to talk about where we're heading. I've been thinking about our relationship a lot. She watches his expression change, the relaxation in his face shifting slightly to concern. The flicker of worry in his eyes only deepens Maddie's resolve. What do you mean? Ryan asks, tilting his head, as pulling away. He seems cautious, almost like he senses the storm brewing. Amara knows this is her chance to express herself fully, to communicate openly yet clearly. I care about you, she continues, her heart feeling a bit lighter as her words flow. But I also have certain needs when it comes to a relationship. I want to be in a partnership where we share our goals and dreams, where love can grow deeper. Ryan bites his lip, a sign that he's mulling over her words. I like being with you, Maddie, but I've told you before that I'm not ready for anything serious right now. Isn't it okay just to enjoy what we have? His answer feels both reassuring and frustrating to her. Amara feels herself waver at his comfortable words. Having fun together feels good, yet it also holds an undercurrent of uncertainty. I understand that, but I think it's important to know if we're on the same path. What if we both want different things? She leans in slightly, a mix of hope and fear swirling within her. Ryan looks down at his coffee cup, thoughtful. I just don't want to rush into anything, he replies, his voice low. I've been hurt in the past, and I'm afraid of repeating those mistakes. His admission strikes Maddie, pulling at her understanding. Ryan's fears are real, coloring his view of commitment. This vulnerability opens a door within her, making her feel more connected to him. At that moment, Amara recognizes the risk of their differences. They could walk away from each other, having never understood this vital part of their bond. Yet, the reward lies in laying their feelings bare, in the hope they might learn more about each other's hearts. Ryan, I appreciate you sharing that, Amara replies gently, her empathy pushing her forward. But is it fair to hang on to a wonderful connection while knowing we may still be moving in opposite directions? As the conversation deepens, she feels the weight of their predicament more clearly. The tension shifts from anxiety to a sense of urgency. She must explain why compromise feels painful and what standing firm means to her. Ryan absorbs this, looking deeply into her eyes, seeking understanding. There's a rich world of possibilities out there if we're willing to be honest, Amara adds, her voice growing softer. It's okay if our paths don't align, but I need to know where we both stand so I can make the right choice for myself. As they talk, emotions ebb and flow between them, a dance of vulnerability and connection. Ryan hesitates but meets her gaze, realizing they've reached a pivotal moment. I want you to be happy, Maddie. Maybe it's needed to reflect on what I can offer. Amara feels the air shift, a soft hope blooming. Although this conversation brings raw truths, she knows the process helps illuminate their differences. They might not emerge from this meeting with the answers they seek, but honesty breaks a barrier that has been weighing heavy in her heart. The risks of laying everything on the table were daunting, but as Amara watches Ryan attempt to share his own fears, a glimmer of resilience flares between them. They both recognize that sometimes it takes courage to stand on their own with clarity and love. This moment could transform their connection, whether it leads to a deeper bond or an understanding of when to walk away. In either scenario, Amara feels an undeniable strength arising from within herself. She is learning to navigate love while protecting her own heart, ready to embrace whatever comes next. As Amara sits across from Ryan, the weight of their conversation hangs thick in the air. She feels the blend of hope and uncertainty swirling within her thoughts. Every word they exchanged echoes in her mind as she grapples with a decision that could alter her path. As she looks into Ryan's eyes, she also sees the reflection of her desires, her fears, and ultimately, the piece of herself that she must protect. Ryan seems hesitant, still wrestling with his own feelings about commitment. Amara has been patient, understanding that it can be hard to open up, but now she feels a nagging pain in her chest. She knows that her desires for a deeper connection cannot be dismissed. They've been laying bare their emotions for the first time, yet that honesty still only obscures a vital truth: they want different things. After a moment of silence, Amara considers what's at stake. If she stays in this relationship, she risks losing sight of her own goals in love. The longer she puts her dreams on hold, the more her heart will ache for what it cannot have. The thought is painful. The idea of walking away from someone she deeply cares for makes her chest tighten, but staying could mean sacrificing her happiness. "Ryan," she begins, her voice steady yet soft, "I care about you so much. But if we're not aligning on the kind of relationship we want, I think I need to step back." The moment feels electrifying, like she's taken a brave step into the unknown. With every word, she feels both weightless and heavy, suspended in the balance of their shared history. Ryan's face changes as he absorbs her words. For a brief moment, his expression is one of disbelief, and for another, it shifts to something approaching understanding. "You're not just going to walk away from all that we've built, right?" There's an undercurrent of desperation in his voice, reflecting his desire to keep her close, even if he isn't ready for what she needs. "It's not about walking away lightly, Ryan, but it's also not healthy for me to stay in a situation that feels uncertain." Maddie's heart aches at the thought that she might be saying goodbye. "I owe it to myself to strive for a relationship filled with love, trust, and long-term plans. That's what I truly want, and I can't apologize for it." As the gravity of her decision settles around her, she feels a swell of strength rising within her. This choice is about more than just Ryan, it's about protecting her own heart and being true to herself. It's an acknowledgement that every experience in her dating life has been guiding her toward a clearer vision of who she is and wants to be. Ultimately, she realizes this moment could shift how she approaches dating in the future. It's the revelation that self-respect and clear boundaries shape healthier relationships. The moment she steps into this newfound understanding is a defining turning point in Maddie's journey. She recognizes that embracing worth means she can no longer pretend that compromise cloaked in hope would be enough to sustain her. Ryan's response remains quiet, allowing the air to hang between them laced with uncertainty. Amara observes the struggle on his face, the once bright spark dimming. "I hope you find what you seek," she finally tells him, surprised at her own calmness. It feels strange saying such words when everything inside her says that walking away should feel more painful. Yet here, at this moment, clarity breaks through her doubt. As uncertainty clouds Ryan's expression, Amara knows she might face challenges ahead, but willing to step into her truth feels liberating. She's learning to billow a clear set of expectations rather than fumble through relationships half-heartedly. One door closes, and another opens. Issues of self-worth and commitment were reason enough to cultivate a future filled with deeper connections. Now, as Amara begins to stand, with a firm heart resolved to enter new dating experiences with integrity, the power of this moment will guide her in ways she cannot yet imagine. She leaves feeling empowered, slight remnants of sadness withering in the warmth of new possibilities ahead, ready to embrace the love she truly deserves. After walking away from Ryan, Amara feels a sense of relief mixed with lingering sadness. The drive home feels oddly quiet, her thoughts swirling like autumn leaves caught in the wind. She grips the steering wheel tightly, allowing the weight of her decision to settle in. As she navigates the familiar streets of Chicago, memories replay in her mind, their laughter, their shared stories, and the moments that made her heart flutter. Yet alongside those memories, there is clarity, a knowledge that she had chosen herself and her happiness. Once she arrives home, Amara sinks into the soft embrace of her couch, wrapping a blanket around her shoulders. The quiet fills her apartment now, a contrasting echo to the excitement she experienced with Ryan. She realizes how important it is to give herself this time to reflect. So often, she has hurried through life, seeking connection without fully understanding her needs first. This journey through dating has taught her so much about who she truly is. As she thinks back to her dating experiences, Amara realizes how much the journey has shaped her perspective. Dating used to be about finding someone to fill the gaps in her life, a way to chase away her loneliness. Now, she understands that love is not about completing herself but about sharing in the joys and challenges of life with someone who truly aligns with her values. Amara reflects on her relationship with Ryan and acknowledges that it showed her the importance of clear communication and boundaries. She understands now that relationships need a strong foundation built on shared dreams and mutual respect. Staying true to her desires brought her confidence. Even in the face of uncertainty and vulnerability, she learned to voice her needs and recognize her self-worth. Feeling empowered is a new sensation for her. The weight she carried about being single is lifting. Instead of feeling uncomfortable about her decision, it feels like setting herself free, removing herself from a situation that wouldn't fulfill her. She thinks about how easy it would have been to overlook her feelings just to avoid conflict or fear of being alone. It dawns on her that genuine relationships don't just happen, they require mutual commitment. At the same time, Amara takes a moment to process the pain of parting. When she feels lonely, sharpening edges of sorrow seem to creep in like shadows. Grieving this chapter isn't easy, and there are times when she longs for that connection. It's a reminder that love holds power and vulnerability, but these feelings don't define her journey. Through loss, she recognizes growth. For the first time, Amara smiles at the thought of what comes next. This experience, though heartbreaking, points her towards healthier avenues in her search for love. Whether she meets someone new tomorrow or months from now, she plans to approach future relationships through the lens of confidence and growth. It's clear to her that she won't settle for less than what she truly desires. In moments of reflection, Amara advises herself to embrace the lessons from her past experiences without regret. They have been part of her growth. What once felt overwhelming now turns into empowering revelations. Moving forward, she intends to carry this strength into future relationships, reminding herself to lead with honesty and what she truly desires. Gazing out the window, holding her warm cup of tea, Amara feels a blend of hope rise within her, intertwining nostalgia and anticipation. The canvas of her life, filled with possibilities, invites her to continue daring to be open, vulnerable, and, most importantly, herself. The road ahead may be uncertain, but she now holds the tools to navigate whatever unfolds, ready to embrace the journey toward finding love again. In the weeks that follow her decision to part ways with Ryan, Amara takes a step back to focus on herself. The emotional journey has left a mark on her, but she approaches this moment as an opportunity to rebuild her confidence and discover who she is outside of a relationship. After spending time in solitude, she finds a sense of clarity amidst the lingering heartache. Each morning, Amara begins her day with renewed intention. She wakes up a bit earlier to create a morning routine that brings her joy, one filled with the gentle ritual of brewing her favorite coffee and savoring its rich aroma. With steaming tea in hand, she pushes aside her busy thoughts and takes a moment to indulge in reflection. She writes down her feelings in her journal, capturing everything from her hopes for the future to affirmations about herself. These little pages become a sanctuary where she cultivates love for her own journey. Instead of rushing back into dating, she decides to take a break. Amara realizes that she needs this time to reconnect with herself and reclaim her sense of self-worth. She explores her interests and passions without the pressure of meeting someone new. She begins taking art classes at a local studio, throwing herself into creative projects that excite her. Each stroke of paint on canvas serves as a reminder of her individuality, allowing her to express emotions in new ways, far beyond the confines of relationships. On weekends, Amara embarks on solo adventures, visiting small coffee shops and charming bookstores throughout the city. She meets new people along the way, listening to their stories and sharing moments of laughter. Building connections and friendships helps Amara realize that love exists in various forms, moving beyond romance. These experiences fill her heart with warmth and joy, reinforcing the idea that she is whole on her own. As she engages more with friends, her social life revitalizes. Amara invites friends over for game nights and potlucks, creating an atmosphere of togetherness. With each presence shared, she feels supported and understood, forming bonds that strengthen the sense of community around her. The laughter and happiness that fills her apartment becomes a source of empowerment, nurturing her spirit. Through this time of exploration, Amara begins to sort out what she truly desires in a partner. Reflecting on her past, she realizes the significance of honesty, mutual respect, and open communication. She nurtures the understanding that seeking a relationship is not about escaping loneliness but about wanting to share life's joys with someone who aligns with her aspirations. The clarity unfolds like petals blooming in spring, each revealing layers of desire she hadn't fully acknowledged before. Months pass, and with each passing day, Amara feels bolder. Rather than blindly scanning dating apps, she starts to set intentions. When she thinks about dating again, she feels a sense of excitement blended with caution. The lessons she learned from Ryan linger in her mind, and the power of self-discovery continues to guide her choices. Yet, even with all this newfound confidence, Amara remains gentle with herself. She knows she doesn't need to rush the process. Love will come when it aligns with her growth, and being patient feels rewarding. Whenever those doubts creep back in, she reminds herself of the importance of being true to her values. In this reflective phase, Amara nurtures a balanced understanding of her worth. The intimate connection with herself allows her spirit to shine brighter. As she embraces this chapter of her life, she is filled with anticipation for what lies ahead. The next time she explores the idea of romance, she intends to approach it with her heart wide open, prepared to seek a match that complements her journey rather than defines it. Amara knows she is enough, and this realization transforms how she moves through life and love. As Amara steps back into the dating world, she carries with her the lessons learned from her past experiences. The journey hasn't been easy, it shaped her into a stronger, more self-aware person. She feels an inner spark of confidence, a guiding light that illuminates her path ahead. Each moment of reflection becomes a stepping stone, leading her closer to the kind of love she hopes to find. With a fresh perspective, Amara approaches dating differently now. Rather than viewing it as just a means to fill her time or escape loneliness, she sees it as an opportunity to form genuine connections with people who align with her life goals. The clarity in her desires allows her to navigate the dating landscape with purpose. Amara decides early on to set clear boundaries, understanding that they are essential for her happiness. She knows that her time, energy, and heart are valuable. When engaging with potential partners, she emphasizes the importance of open communication and honesty. Rather than allowing herself to bend her needs for fear of rejection or conflict, Amara holds firm in what she wants from a relationship. She's learned that being true to herself doesn't inhibit connection, it paves the way for stronger relationships to blossom. As Amara engages with dating apps, she takes her time crafting a genuine profile that reflects her passions and goals. The photographs she chooses capture not only her smile but also the joy of her experiences, trips to art galleries, cooking classes, and laughter shared with friends. She feels proud of the person she has become and invites others to appreciate her journey through the lens of her personality. This time, she won't settle for a superficial connection, but instead seeks those who share a similar vision for their future. When she meets new people, Amara is intentional about asking questions that reveal their values and interest in relationships. Instead of skirting the depth of conversation, she dives right in, curious to know their thoughts on commitment and partnership. It feels refreshing to engage openly, and with every connection, Amara senses the power of authenticity flowing through her discussions. As she explores new relationships, Amara focuses on what truly matters: compassion, respect, and shared aspirations. Although she has her own dreams, she understands that a healthy relationship involves a partnership where both individuals uplift each other. Sharing what she wants while also being curious about the other person's desires nurtures a rich bond. On her dates, if Amara encounters someone who does not align with her values, she feels empowered to walk away. The fear that once held her back dissolves. No longer worried about being alone, her self-worth radiates, reinforcing the idea that she deserves love that feels right. The act of prioritizing herself makes each step lighter, allowing her to enjoy the moments she spends with others. With each passing day, Maddie's strength continues to grow. She embraces uncertainty, knowing that dating may have both ups and downs, but now sees it as part of the journey. Instead of putting pressure on herself or her dates, she engages with hope and excitement. Love may come, and when it does, she intends to welcome it wholeheartedly. Looking towards the future, Amara feels optimistic. Her heart is open to possibilities, and rather than feeling burdened by past failures, she acknowledges that each experience brought her closer to understanding the love she truly seeks. She remains committed to her values, and this dedication assures her that the right person will appreciate and honor her for whom she is. The journey continues with joy, resilience, and an unwavering sense of self, ready to explore love anew, this time with the awareness and fortitude to cherish her own worth.